which Valkyrie should I invest in? There are so many Valkyries in Honkai Vector, but which are the ones that I should invest in if I decide to enter the competitive scene of Honkai Vector The Abyss? Then maybe you're a new captain looking to play part 2, or you haven't broken through yet but plan on breaking through and are not sure with how the current meta is. Here's a tier list for you. Okay, we start off with Triple S, which is the most important, right? Priority you should always go for. Double S, which you should also go for. Very important units. S, important units. Okay, they are very strong units, and you should go for them. A tier, not as important, still decent units. B tier, if you are desperate, they are still there. Niche, try not to, unless you really need a certain DPS or support or for an element. Okay, let's make this quick. Starting off with Herschel of Rebirth. She is currently the best physical support, being able to support every single physical team out there with her burst, which increases your physical DPS's damage by just a crazy amount. She also could be a physical DPS, but definitely not the best. Still very strong though. Herschel of Truth, similar to Herschel of Rebirth, is the backbone of every fire and lightning team. She elemental breaches for these two units, basically increasing the damage by a significant amount for both lightning and fire teams. Okay, you could also use her as a DPS, but she is not the best, right? Usually you use her as a support. Double S, basically mainly part 2 characters. Okay, Sanadina should be up there as number 1, because let's be real, if you don't know about HI3, when a new character comes out, the Abyss has something called Weather, where it always focuses on the most recent character to give them an advantage. So these 3 units will be the most recent characters to come out in part 2 and the most important characters to invest in, right? If you want to really compete in Honkai Vector, these 3 units are very good. Mostly Sanadina. We're not sure how the future of Honkai Vector part 2 characters are gonna be like, since they have like new mechanics. But yeah, go for these 3 units. S tier, Luna Val. She is the best lightning DPS out there. She's able to brute force anything, almost anything. She can do both bleed and lightning, so very useful character. Okay, just go for her. She's the strongest lightning DPS out there. Purple Vicissitude, strongest fire damage, if you need one. Okay, strongest fire DPS, and the weather, just applies to her a lot, especially in the recent patch. But for 7.3 might be different, so that's why she's not that high anymore. But yeah, Herschel of Human Ego here is the best ice DPS you can get, with some of the most beautiful animations out there. She's like the best ice DPS ever since her release, which was like over a year ago, maybe even 2. Yeah, ice hasn't been power crept in a really long time. Well, HI3's power creeping is very, let's say, but people don't really talk the truth. Okay, it's exaggerated. It's not that bad as people might say. So yeah, I think almost 2 years, Queen of Ice. Herschel Sentience came back after being power crept by Zele. She was the queen for also, I think, over a year to almost 2 years of being the best support and DPS for physical. Very strong unit. If you have break, go and pull for her. She's one of the best physical damage right now with the stun mechanic for certain weather in the base. Very strong. Prometheus, she's the SP unit for every physical team. Slap her on any physical team and she just gives so much damage. She deals damage, she increases damage. Very strong unit. I Lambda, the SP unit for fire damage teams, also very strong. She's able to ignite, right? She's able to give SP to your entire team, and overall just a very solid unit. Dreamweaver, I would say she's either maybe one of the best physical damage out there right now. I do not know if she's higher than her short sentience with Brick and Pericle set, but these two are very for physical damage. It's just that she's only purely physical damage. So whereas Sentience, you still can support Zele if you want her to be DPS. So yeah, overall Dreamweaver still a good unit. Herschel Finality, oh boy. If you don't know, there is a trio team which consists of course the main trio, Herschel Truth, Herschel Finality, and Origin, where if you put them in a team, you get this special team where you have a joint ult, right? And the team is just flows with it. It's the best team, if you ask me. Very fun, very cool. Very expensive to build if you did not play during version Kiana, right? Where in that patch, everything was so cheap. They gave so many pulls, it was really cheap, Herschel Origin was free. But now, Herschel Finality by herself is a solid unit. But if you were to pull for Finality, it will be for the trio. So that's why I put her here. Fire damage leader. Now comes to the A class. Basically, Su Shang, she is a very strong ice support. She takes up the second spot in your team for ice damage, while Shigure Kira over here takes up the third for SP rank. These two can be farmed to triple S for free. Su Shang is free, Kira is free. And the best, like Shigure Kira, you still have to go for gears, right? Not Shigure Kira. Su Shang, you have to go for all her gears. But when it comes to Shigure, you don't. If you have played this game for a while, and you have, for example, Eden's gear, like a gun, just swap, just put it on her. Any high attack gun will just work on her, right? As for Stigma, recently Turgon was craftable. Pretty much the universal support set that can be used on pretty much anyone, which includes Shigure Kira, I Lambda, and just the main elemental supports. Right? Very good. Griseo, Adult Griseo. She's good. Her role is just bleed DPS or Stardust bleed, or support, basically the best support for Luna, because she buffs her bleed damage by a ridiculous amount. Very good unit, but isn't used that much anymore. So yeah, if you have Luna Vow, you should pull for this character almost immediately. Not pull lah, like pull for her gears almost immediately, right? Sirin, she's free. Sirin is free, okay. Her gears, her stigmas can be crafted. However, they are using the old method of crafting where you need like G3 and then G4, and her interfill is insane. So I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you really like Sirin. She is very cute, but you know, if her banner does come back and let's say you pull for her gears, she's the best Ignite fire DPS right now, and she still is strong. You can farm her up to triple S, which is why she's still very good. But I would recommend you pull for her gear first, then decide on whether you want to farm for a stigma. Because one of them already takes like a month, unless you pre-farm. Platinus Equinox is the physical damage dealer that can be used everywhere. However, you will not get top scores unless you're fighting imaginary type enemies. So she's still good, you know, but not the best, clearly. And she hasn't really seen much light in the recent patches, sadly. Now comes to B tier. If you really are desperate or you do not have a specific DPS or support for a team, go for them, right? Most of them are free or farmable. So let's just start with Miss Pink Elf, Alicia. Very good unit. She was my physical DPS carry since the start. From the moment she came out, she is free. You can farm her to triple S. She does a lot of damage, but you have to pull for her gears, which isn't that worth anymore. Especially with better units like Sentience or Dream Weaver, you know, or even Virtual Rebirth, just better options, right? Small Griseo, she's a physical bleed support. She increases your damage, mostly used in Memorial, no longer in Abyss really. She's alright. Eden, sometimes you use her instead of Griseo. Why? Some enemies or bosses require lightning, like Paralyze, in order to break their shield, or there's a mechanic that requires Paralyze. She will be used instead of Griseo. So investing in her is still not bad to support Luna. Or if you don't have Luna and you're using like Hershel of Origin or Hershel of Thunder, yeah, Eden is still worth. Susanna is a Quantum Bleed. Her best mob is Pichacha, which is that weird blob monster thing. She still gets the top scores, I think, for that mob, but honestly, if you want to talk about bleed, like, Luna Val is too good. Okay, she's used everywhere. Susanna doesn't get much light. Hershel of Origin, man, if you do not have her, she was given out for free. She is one of the best lightning DPS that you can get. However, because she was given for free and her gears are pretty expensive, it's not really worth to get her anymore. Just go for Luna Val. Okay, but if you have Truth and Finality, just pull for her because trio team is crap. Okay, Bardo, mostly a Memorial Arena usage. She can be used in Lightning, Fire, and Ice teams as a support. But she's no longer the best, and she's so no longer really recommended. But if you need one, sure, go ahead. Now we're in the niche tier. Rarely used, right? Maybe there's a certain mechanic for a boss that results in them having the highest score, but it rarely happens, right? Quantum Fire damage dealer. She has a really cool gun, machine gun. So yeah, but rarely used. Aponia Lightning, also rarely used. Mobius Lightning, also rarely used. Only specific mechanics require them. Flame Scion, she was in the version 7.3 1 BP to version 7.2, or is it version 7.0 to version 7.2, where you could get her for free with quotation marks, where if you bought the PP, you could use the crystal balls to buy her for very cheap, right? Instead of pulling like 80 times, you can get her for like what, 20 bucks or less. So yeah, Special Thunder, she was given out for free multiple times. By now, if you play for a while, you should have her at double S. If you haven't, don't pull for her. She's expensive. You need her Divine Key, which very rarely pops up. Except 7.4, there is firepower supply, so you could try your luck, but not recommended. Her Short Reason, also same thing. You need her Divine Key, but her Stigmatas are forgeable like her Short Thunder, so specific mechanics will require this unit, but they are very rare, super rare. Official, Desperate Times calls for desperate needs. If you have nothing else left, like, I mean, just go for Eden, man. But let's say you don't have a Short Truth, they kinda work, okay? So, yeah. The rest, don't try to build them, don't even try to pull for them. They are not worth it at all. The only reason why some units are still being used today is because people built them in the past. Okay, they are just no longer worth building. These 3 units, by the way, are not Valkyries, they are Astro Ops. So yeah, they are not Valkyries. So that is my tier list. If you have any questions, or if you feel like, hey, this Valkyrie, why is it so low or why is it so high, comment down below and I will see if I can explain my own opinion better. But yeah, I just want to make this as fast as possible because Honkai meta is pretty, you know, there's a lot going on. It's not just like, oh, I put a unit that is strong and I win the game. No, because there's rotations that need to happen, there are specific team comps that can apply to specific weathers. So if you like the explanation more on weathers and stuff like that, if you comment down below, maybe I'll make another video. Thanks for watching, see you next time.